On today's episode, we're talking about Brandy Melville ripping off a creator and the creator's genius response, a brand taking what's in my bag a little bit too far, a couple cool thought-provoking posts I've seen online recently and like digging into that, and actually shit-talking YouTube for a little bit in between all of the topics. So yeah, let's get into that. Welcome back to another episode of Refashioned. It's been a while since we've done one of these, so we're just going to be catching up on what we've missed on the internet in that time frame, starting with this post that came up on my For You page. Honestly, this initially caught my attention because we've been talking a lot on the channel about influencer closet sales and how I predict they're going to be a big thing in the future because they bring together community and the chance for people to shop something exclusive that maybe a lot of people don't have and has a backstory and therefore earns you internet cool points. But although that's what caught my attention with this post, I stayed for the backstory about how Brandy Melville has completely ripped off this creator and everything she's done since she found out to fight back at them. Okay, so from what I can tell, going back into the archives of the creator's posts, Brandy Melville took this creator's logo design from her brand and put it on a t-shirt. The creator did not sell these logo t-shirts before, and Brandy Melville literally just ripped off the logo and put it on a t-shirt and stuck it in their stores. So the creator came to TikTok and basically said, yo, this is happening. And from what I can tell, Brandy Melville took it down from the website after the post went viral and they got complaints or whatever, but they were still selling it in stores. And then like a couple of weeks later, they came out with more designs that had the logo on it as if nothing had happened. And honestly, I'm not really sure what level of Delulu Brandy is on, but I love how this creator has turned what is obviously a really traumatic and really shit thing to happen into like a genius marketing move. She's literally been detailing every single step of this journey and basically turning the whole story into a GoFundMe for her to get a lawyer to sue Brandy, and has been hosting closet sales like the one that introduced me to this whole story. But she also made her own version of the logo tees with her logo that Brandy originally came up with. And those have been selling really, really well. And I mean, one of those reasons is because Brandy Melville's was a one size fits all option, which I mean, is a complete red flag if you've seen the documentary on them. But we need to talk about the fact that there has been this whole documentary on them and a lot of shady things that came out that people seem to have forgotten about. From what I can tell on TikTok, there's a real Brandy Melville resurgence going on. And I just don't understand, like, did no one see this documentary? Have we all just collectively decided to not care about it anymore? Is the baby tees and the like basic white vest selection too good to pass up? I've seen so many posts of people going crazy for it on TikTok. I also saw when I was in Florence, I was like searching TikTok for things to do in the area, and the thing that consistently came up was go to Brandy Melville for the cutest Florence merch. Like, what do you mean? I know it's quite obvious from the documentary title, but there's a whole cult going on, and I feel like it's completely linked to the rise of skinny talk we've been seeing. But anyway, I thought this was really interesting. I especially thought that the vintage closet sale thing was really, really interesting, and from what I can tell, it's been really popular. She's done a couple of them, and yeah, since this is one of my predictions for the future of marketing, it's quite cool to see it proven so quickly. But yeah, I just feel really bad for this creator and the fact that Brandy Melville literally ripped off the logo of her designs. The audacity of it. It's not even just a style of t-shirt or something that she's come up with. It's literally her brand name on a basic t-shirt. Audacious. Anyway, moving on to another thing I saw on Instagram and I think went pretty viral is this fashion show watch party. Genuinely, I think it's so cool. And I don't get why it's not been a thing before now. I mean, bringing the fashion community together like this in real life when community hype has been buzzing for like the last year or so, it just makes sense. I mean, there's always been like watch parties on Twitter of people reacting in time to fashion shows as they're like being live streamed and stuff. But getting people together at a bar and like commenting on the looks together and, you know, just experiencing the show in real time is really cool, especially since, you know, a fashion show has become a spectacle in all of itself. I just think this is like an event that's like a no-brainer, should have happened earlier. And as long as it remains a genuine and organic event that's happening, I think it's so cool. Like, I think we need so many of them. But watch it turn into a sponsored event that a brand tries to take over and sell merch at. Like, if this happens again and it's again really, really popular and brands start to see that it's a format that works, I could see them putting up like giant screens outside venues and selling the collection on the road alongside. Like, I don't know. Or maybe I could see Vogue hosting this in like different cities around the world, just doing like a Paris Fashion Week watch show for everyone that didn't get invited. And I don't know, brands sponsoring it with drinks and snacks and limited availability t-shirts and stuff like that. I just think this is immediately, you know what I feel like this is going to become? I think it's going to become like the celebrity lookalike contests we saw on TikTok that started completely organically, which is like a really fun, like weird, what the hell, come see people that look like Timothy Chalamet in the middle of a park, and has now become a sponsored event by brands. Like I saw someone doing a Lewis Capaldi event in London, like advertising it recently, and I know that was a brand was involved. I'll put it on the screen. If you're listening to this, I'm sorry, I don't know what the brand is right now, but yeah, I know that there was a brand sponsored event for that. And it's just like, it just turns it into a marketing gimmick. It's just another way of commodifying something that was built organically. And I hate it. But yeah, I love this event. Let's keep it cool. Let's not let brands get involved, please. Don't go to them if brands are sponsoring them. Just like hang out with your friends and do a watch party for a fashion show. I'd absolutely love to do that. So if you see any that are like non-company organized happening in and around London, send them to me, please. Okay, I already teased this one in the intro, but I don't think you're going to be able to guess what I'm going to show you. Basically, the Coach website now has a section in, I don't know how many of their products, at least a few of them, where instead of scrolling through just boring product photos showing you the different angles, they have a video element that shows you what you can fit in the bag right there on the website. And it's filled with everything you might imagine, like sunglasses, gum, hair ties, AirPods, you know, everything that the average girly girl needs in her Coach bag. And I think it's super, super interesting, the fact that this stops people having to go onto TikTok themselves if they're interested in a bag and try to find a creator who has not only bought the bag, but uploaded a video of how much they can fit in the bag so they can get a genuine idea of the size. I mean, because that is what a lot of people do now, because we shop online so much, we don't actually go in store and get a feel for the bag. I mean, unless you're literally going to get out a tape measure, it might be quite hard to get an idea of the size. So people normally go on TikTok and figure out like, oh, if they can fit a book, an AirPod case, a laptop, then this is a great work bag for me. No, Coach is doing that right there on the website. You don't have to scroll for that. It's there. And I think it's kind of cool, actually. It's obviously a very helpful feature, but it's also an example of TikTok behavior and what's normalized and hyped on TikTok influencing a brand's website in a way that I haven't really seen before. I also think it might be a little bit sketch. I mean, hear me out. This kind of content that they're replacing online, I mean, removing this need for people to go onto TikTok and find other people's content showing the bag and maybe reviews of what the bag is actually like, and maybe those will be bad reviews, is kind of removing the incentive to find an unbiased opinion on what the bag is actually like if you're thinking about buying it. And I think the brand is well aware of this, and that's why they might have implemented this feature. Yes, it's cool. Yes, it's marketable, but it also keeps the consumer on the website, so maybe they're less likely to get distracted by something else and, you know, not purchase. But they're also only being sold on what you tell them about the bag, and obviously that's very controllable. So I'm kind of like a little bit in two minds about this. I'm also feeling, and you know, I'd like to get your opinions on this because this might be an overstretch, but it feels very like a commercialization of girlyhoodness that we've kind of seen creeping into marketing in, I don't know, recent months, maybe even the past like year or so. I don't know, this specific example might be a stretch, but it's kind of like, to me, how loads of brands are jumping on like matcha pop-ups and stuff, because that's a very like girly activity on TikTok. And obviously if you align your brand with that, then maybe you'll be seen as a girly brand and, you know, like an essential, and you know, you get all of the marketing involved with matcha to your brand. This feels also like a commercialization of girlyhood. You know, I'll get you a bag that can fit in these really cute AirPod cases, and the book you're reading for your book club that you're talking about on TikTok is like your new hobby activity, and you know, like Jane Birkify your bag and put bag charms on it, and you know, whatever. Like, it's all sort of feels a little bit commercialized. I've said that word 3 times now, sorry. But yeah, I'd like to see if you agree or not. I don't know if it's just my brain being pessimistic always about brands, or whether I'm just, you know, connecting dots, whether I'm just seeing links and it's actually genuine. But yeah, I do think it's really interesting that brands are now designing their websites for our TikTok behavior, and like what we've gotten used to visually on TikTok is now bleeding into other areas of the internet. I think that's really interesting. I also think it's interesting that I saw this article article the other day about how brands are now optimizing their websites for AI. And that's because AI shopping tools are being said to be the next big thing. And brands are now being told, like, you need to be optimizing for AI. This is the new internet. If you're not doing this, you're being left behind. I think it's really quite telling in the respect of how fashion believes AI is going to have a role in the future of the industry. And yeah, I don't really want to get into this too much because I am doing an AI in fashion video, and I do want to mention this there. It is coming, I promise. I know I've been saying it's going to come for like months and months, but I keep finding new examples of like how AI is creeping into fashion, like this example. I've just got like a note page of so many different examples I need to refine, I need to tidy. But it's coming, I promise. It's sort of taking over my life at this point. I just keep finding examples and I need to find a cut-off date to stop adding them. But it's so interesting, so I don't want to stop researching it. But anyway, oh my god, I'm in like a very chatty mood today. I can't focus on topics. Let's move on to the next topic, which is an article I read on Substack, because Substack is great and it's great for getting off your phone and stopping doom scrolling. If you don't read Substack at this point, what are you doing? Like, genuinely, have you found another corner of the internet that doesn't feel like brain rot and rage bait all the time? If you have, leave it in the comments, please, because I would like more corners of the internet like this. But Substack for me feels like this. So I'm on it a lot, and I found another article that I want to talk to you about. It's called We're in Our Micro Mood Era. The synopsis is, welcome to the mood economy, where consumers crave more emotion, nuance, and vibe matching from brands. And it's basically breaking into the fact that consumer culture and the way we buy things now is less defined by the category of what we're shopping, like say a going out top for drinks with friends, and more about the context of what we're doing and how it plays into our mood-based decision making. And I'll read the examples they give and how they explain it further, because I think it's really interesting. Soft girl Sunday, emotional support water bottles, sad girl snacks. These aren't passing phases, they're cultural infrastructure. Cues for how we dress, scroll, snack, style, and self-soothe. And I think this is really encapsulating for how people are feeling right now and how I've seen people acting on TikTok and social media in general when it comes to purchasing. I just haven't been able to put it into words, and this article feels like it puts it all into words. Just the fact that we're all so aware of how the world is like crumbling to pieces around us right now. And so many of us use shopping as an outlet or as a distraction from all of that and all of our feelings on the matter, which, you know, is human, and no one's going to fault you for reacting like that. But I think it becomes insidious when the influencer economy and brands start to use those feelings and turn them into weapons for making us buy more, making us buy their affiliate links, blah, blah, blah. In the wrong hands, it can be a really powerful tool to get people to buy what they don't need, spend money they probably don't have on something that promises to make them feel better, but doesn't. And I feel like the most recent big example of this I can tell is Labubu's. I've managed to dodge a lot of the internet talk around this and like the internet hype, but I can see the appeal of having an ugly little doll that you like look after and, you know, buy trinkets for and use to forget the state of the world. I can see why a lot of people are connecting with that right now. But to be honest, reading this article, I did feel like this has been the state of things for a while now, not just, you know, in recent months, but like the past year, 2 years. I mean, Brat was like half about the music, but more, I would say, about the state of mind and the attitude that came with it. Conservative dressing has risen in popularity, not really because we've all suddenly decided we like slick back buns and quiet luxury clothing for itself, but because of how it reflects us in society as being put together in, you know, the state of chaos. And even like the example we were just talking about with the coach doing what's in my bags, that can kind of like encapsulate a personality into the bag that you're thinking about buying. I just feel like this idea has been floating around for a while in the zeitgeist, and it's really interesting that someone put it into words. There was also this recent example that I actually got sent by one of you in my Instagram DMs of Damson Matter, a women's wear brand, if you don't know, doing an Instagram ad to promote their new sale. And the Instagram ad is so weird. It's like a close-up picture of denim trousers with a tin of fish and asparagus poking out the top. And there's like zero context to that. And I think it's a really interesting case study of visual marketing, food being the new luxury, and just like brands being able to say so much with so little like actual words or context given. I mean, what is that vibe conveying? Farmer's girl, market summer, picnic vibes, being a little bit whimsical, carrying around fish and an asparagus in your pocket. Like, are you that girl? Are you an asparagus fish girl for summer? And like, it sounds ridiculous, but I also completely get the vision they were going for. Like, I understood this on a contextual level as soon as I saw it. So is it really that ridiculous? I just think it's indicative of the marketing and TikTok culture we're in right now. Should I make this entire topic its own video? I mean, is this interesting to people? Because I find it really, really interesting how brands are commodifying emotion and packaging it back to us in adverts and products that prey on our feelings of distress right now. I don't know. It's a very heavy topic, so I don't know if that would be a good one on its own. Let me know if you would like it. But one other thing I want to talk about from the article, I found this little paragraph because I only realized I was doing this when I read the article. Social platforms have turned the dial right up on the micro mood. Spotify gave us the soundtracks, songs for crying in the shower, romanticizing your commute, or dancing alone in your kitchen at 1 a.m. I'm definitely guilty of a really hyper specific niche playlist title and like trying to get the vibe exactly right for whatever I'm trying to build. Like I will spend hours, I will curate that playlist, and I've been doing it more and more recently without really realizing why. I also try find other people's playlists, and you know, if I see one that's really, really cool and hyper niche, I will click right on it. I will save that thing. And I find it super, super interesting. I also think it's an untapped potential that I think we're going to be seeing brands capitalize on soon. If I were to make another prediction for how brands are going to be weaponizing sensory marketing, I could definitely see them releasing a playlist with a new collection for people to like vibe to at the same time. I've never seen a brand do this. Maybe a brand has already done this, but I've never seen a brand do this. So I'm willing to bet this will be a thing in the future. And I don't see why not. It totally makes sense to me. Anyway, I've been loving hyper niche Spotify playlists recently, and I'm going to do a video on everything else I've been loving because I think that's a really fun topic. But what I have not been loving recently, and we need to talk about this, is YouTube. For one thing, they've been trying to get me to use AI generated responses to reply to your comments on the back end of YouTube. And I hate it, not only because like that completely erodes what I want to do with comments, like connect with you guys. Why would I just want to click a button? But for the other thing, it sounds like me and I hate it. It's really eerie. It sounds like how I would speak to you guys. It's machine learned my tone. And I really hate it. I'm going to put some examples on the screen. Like if you're listening to this, definitely like pause and look at the screen right now because these sound like how I respond to you guys in the comments, and it's freaky. It's weird. And the other thing I'm really disliking about YouTube right now is my views are flopping. Like I don't know what's going on, but my videos are not reaching you guys in the way that they have been in the past and in the way I want them to. And I don't know if it's an algorithm change or what. It's a little bit embarrassing, to be honest, but I depend on YouTube. It's like my main source of income, and it's really frustrating. And I don't think it's just me. I think I've seen other creators who are experiencing less views than I would expect them to see. I'm not going to call out any creators because it might be a bit embarrassing for them too. But I have clocked other people that I follow or like are in my niche that I think is also happening too. So I don't know if it's like sustainable fashion as a topic is just not maybe that interesting to people right now, but I don't know what's going on, but it's like a whole thing. And I kind of want to know if my videos are popping up in your guys' recommended feed or not, because I have a sneaking suspicion that they're not being shown and I don't get it. So yeah, I don't want to dwell on this too much because it is a little bit embarrassing, and I'm sure like one of the explanations could be just like people don't want to talk about what I'm talking about right now. That's absolutely fine, but I don't know. I thought I'd talk about it briefly just to vent. This is a venting podcast at the same time as it is, hey, this interesting thing's been happening. So yeah, what's been annoying you in the comments? Leave that below. Anyway, moving on, because I have to talk to you guys about this next thing. It's not often that we talk about fast fashion in any kind of positive light on the channel. You guys are all very aware of where I stand on fast fashion, but I want to talk to you about Y0utuℬ and their recent marketing campaign and how I don't hate it. In fact, I would go so far as to say I love it. So, okay, it's not really a campaign. It's basically a way they've done their product shoots on their website. And they've filmed videos of the clothes and the models wearing their clothes eating ice cream. But they've basically included an interactive element where the ice cream appears to drop from one model's photo shoot down into the product below them. And the model like catches it in her bowl and continues to eat it. That's a really bad explanation, but I'm sorry. For the people that are listening, I need to describe it. But I think it's showing a new trend I've been seeing online a lot, and I've been saving a lot of examples for to potentially do a video on, which is brands responding to the backlash against AI by being violently transparent about when they're not using AI and like using that as a flex, and paying for creators and artists to do really great creative campaigns and being very vocal about the fact that a human made them. They're paying humans to promote their products as like almost like a virtue signaling thing. And I think it's really interesting. I think it's like so good. Obviously, we all know my opinions on AI in fashion and creativity. So the fact that brands are using this as a virtue signaler, I'm not mad about it. I'm not mad about this Y0utuℬ campaign. That's how much I love this anti-AI flex. And again, I want to do a whole video on this because I think it's a whole big topic. It's really interesting. So get your thoughts in and I'll try to include them in that video whenever I get round to it. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that's everything we needed to catch up on in this episode. I hope it was interesting, that you liked hearing me rant about some things and predict and, you know, just share the things that I think are really interesting on the internet right now. That's what this podcast is for. It's literally just a brain dump. It's almost like we're FaceTiming. So I hope you enjoyed it. Again, I asked for so many thoughts on so many different things in this podcast. So like, feel free to leave like 10 comments. But yeah, even if all you did was listen to this video, you don't want to comment, thank you so much for listening. Thank you for helping to fund my work, even though YouTube does not want you to be watching this, I guess. And I hope you have the most wonderful day and we speak to each other soon. Bye.